Good evening, everyone, and what an honor it is to have this man with me tonight, Michael Presley, who is Elvis's son. And this was funny, the fellow I was just talking to, his name is Sewell.
Oh.
So when he was on with me, I said, Sewell, my dream was to have a person with one name, Cher or Elvis, but
Right.
I got Sewell. Now I got Elvis's son, Michael, here. And it's funny, I got to tell you the story. I walked in, and Michael had gotten here with Renee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to talk about some of the great things that Michael's doing. And I looked and went, oh, my God, you're an Elvis imitator. He goes, no, I'm a little better than that. So tell us about
One
yourself.
step up. Well, Michael Presley, of course, and I am the certified. I guess back in the day they called them illegitimate children. Now today they don't mention that anymore.
Yeah.
It's that title you don't get. But back in the day, I was an illegitimate child of my father and mother.
Who was your mom?
My mom was Mary Ann,
Okay.
and she was a big band singer with Les Brown as orchestra renowned, Guy Lombardo, Scatman, Prada, all the biggies.
Geez, you had musical talent on
Oh,
both
from
sides.
both sides.
No
Yeah,
wonder you're so
I
good.
got the double banger from the genetics.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And she was also a model with the travel agencies.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and she had the little tight waist wasp waistline. A lot of you younger guys and girls don't know about that, but back then these girls would pull up and force their bodies into these what amounted to be a piece of rubber.
Wow.
Those rubber girdles, remember those?
Oh, I do remember the girdles.
Yeah,
Wow.
and of course, after the woman had worn it for a few hours, it had to be rolled off because that sucker stuck. So, but I was born in 1956 to Mary Ann and my father Elvis.
Yeah, but see, that's hard to believe, folks. Think about that. This guy was born in 1956. He looks like he was born in 76.
Oh, thank you. You are going to be my best friend forever.
See, in fact, that's true. When I first met Michael, I figured he's like 50, something like that. And you're 69? Is that what
I'm
you-
69. I'll be 70 in March.
Jeez, that's amazing. Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Well, yes, it's no drugs, no cigarettes,
Yeah,
no
that's-
tobacco products, never
Yeah.
been drunk, and of course take my vitamins and work out and eat well and
Yeah.
keep the weight down.
Well, that is the key, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
I'm even almost 10 years older than you. And
You
I-
are not.
Yeah, I am. I'm 79.
79.
Yeah. So, I mean,
You look great.
well, thank you. And again, I come back to what you just said. Never drugs, never smoking, never really into alcohol much. I mean, I have a glass of wine or something, but very rarely. And that's important. And you see it as you look, 20 years younger than your age.
Thank you.
So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Yeah, I like the hair too, man. It looks
Yeah,
good.
we still got our hair.
Yeah, yeah, we both
No,
do. That's
no
true.
plugs, no wigs, no none of that stuff.
So, tell me a little bit about you growing up as a child.
Oh my goodness, it. People would say, "Well, my gosh, life must have been great as the son to the king." No, listen. As children, we cannot pick our parents, and if I would have realized exactly what was going to transpire for me in my life, I probably would never have picked my father as
Yeah,
as
he
a
probably
father.
was absentee, right?
Well, he was absent a lot. That wasn't the problem. The problem was my mother belonged to a very starch church family.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, all the men on my mother's side of the family were all ministers. I mean, big ministers.
Wow.
My cousin Berkeley Hackett was a minister in Africa and opened up just literally tons of churches across the continent of Africa.
Wow, that's-
And also opened up the Christian college out there.
Oh, my goodness.
And he was in Africa for years and years and years and years and years. One of the biggest African missionaries,
Wow.
for the church. And this is they were members of the Church of Christ. I'm a member of the Church of Christ. Now that's not the Latter-day Saints.
Right. That's the
This
Mormons.
is the
Right.
Mormons.
Yeah.
It's not that. I'm just the regular old grass-grown Church of Christ that you see thousands of them across the United
Yeah,
States.
and they're popular.
Yes.
They really are.
No instrumental music during the worship service and Lord's Supper every Sunday and
Yeah, right.
things like that. Very, very Bible sound. And so life was started off being hard for me because my mother, being the daughter of a prospective elder and deacon in the church, which he was trying to become an elder or deacon in the church, my grandfather on my mother's side. In Titus, they tell you got to be in control of your family. Well, if you've got a daughter with an illegitimate son back then,
Oh, that's true. That's yeah.
Suddenly you're not in control of your family, and so I was the hated child on that side of the family.
That's because you were illegitimate.
Oh, yes, and got whippings. Boy, they say, well, he's the son of Elvis, and he's got to be whipped just because he's the son of Elvis, And they hated my father back then, too. A lot of people don't know that down in the South. They used to burn his records in the Circle Square. And they also had, and you can go online and see these interviews of elected officials down there in the South who come on board and they say, we're not going to allow that man with his devil, directed movements and going to, come into our towns and seduce our women folk and our young girls.
I forgot about the hips and all that.
Yeah. And today you look at that and go, wow, that was nothing.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was nothing compared to what's going on today.
Nothing. So I was looked at as an abomination back then. I was the son of the devil, basically, is the way I looked at it.
Jeez.
And of course, from that side of the family, I was shunned, and it was funny because my mother told me, she says, honey, when I pass away, and I believe it passing forward. You don't actually pass away. Pass away means you're all done.
Right. Yeah.
So we
She's
pass
up in heaven.
forward.
Yeah.
Right. When we pass forward, she says, there'll be nobody there for you. She says, don't look to anybody in my family because she says they will disown you like a bad dream, And that was pretty much the way it happened.
How old was Mom when she passed?
77.
Well, that's good.
So she
had
lived to
pretty
be a
good
good
life.
age.
Yeah,
And
she did.
I want to live to be 126.
Well, that's good.
So,
Me too.
so we're working on it. I'd like to live, much older than my mother. A lot of people say, well, why would you want to live to be that old? As long as I'm walking straight, thinking straight, and everything's okay along those lines, I'd like to be alive at 126, because I want to see all of the stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I want to see where my life goes on from here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you look so young.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody.
You and I could be having a fruity drink on the beach down in Florida or Waikiki, Hawaii at that age.
That's the only state I haven't been to. is
Oh,
Hawaii.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, we
Been
got
to all
to
the
get you
others.
down there.
I've been to Alaska, but yeah.
Have you been to Tahiti?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have. Is it as great as I heard it
Oh, it's
is?
fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to Tahiti.
Yeah. And another island I really loved was Aruba. Have you been there?
No, never been to
God,
Aruba.
beautiful. Just fabulous place.
I have not been out of the continental United States, now other than Hawaii. Hawaii really isn't the continental United States.
Yeah, right.
It's
I
a
understand.
state of the
Sure.
United States,
Right.
but it's
Exactly.
an island.
It's not part of the continent.
The only other place that I've been to Canada, and I have been to the islands.
Yes.
So I was aboard ship.
Yeah,
I was
right,
in the
that's-
Navy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And of course we got on med cruises and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah.
But the other place that I went to was Mazatlan in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And that was an interesting story because I nearly died down there
Oh my God.
from aerobic dysentery.
Shh.
That's breathed in dysentery, that you breathe in the bacteria, and then it affects your digestive tract.
Oh, wow.
Oh, terrible, terrible stuff.
So all right. So when you graduated high school, did you sign up for the Navy? Is that?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I had already planned. And it was funny because I had already got a contract to play Las Vegas at the age of 18.
Oh my God, that's fabulous.
Yes, I was in high school and I entered the Mr. Teen America contest out there in California, Los Angeles County, California. And I won on my singing.
Well, that I can
And
understand.
got the contract. And it was kind of funny because my choir director at the high school says, you'll never be a singer.
Okay.
And you'll never play in one of our as a major position in one of our play productions. And I thought to myself when he told me that, I said, it's funny. They told my father at the Grand Ole Opry after he performed, they said, "Son, do you have a day job?"
Don't give it up.
Yeah, and he said, "Yeah, I drive a truck." And he says, "Well, you need to give up your guitar and give up the voice and go back to driving the truck. You'll never be an entertainer or a singer."
Wow.
And then, of course, he went down south to Louisiana Hayride and got a 52-week contract out of the Louisiana Hayride after that. But yeah, we went and we performed Las Vegas that summer right after I graduated. And then after that, I went back to Los Angeles and then got ready to go into the Navy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my uncle was in the Navy. He was a senior petty officer
Oh, okay.
in the United States Navy, and he worked in the taking care of the films and the filming crew equipment for the high altitude reconnaissance planes that they had going at the time. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's interesting having the Navy background. So, what I was going to ask you was, were you in the Navy? Was Vietnam still going on?
Vietnam was still going on,
It
and
was when I was in high school.
Yeah,
I know,
and
yeah.
I was involved in the Vietnam conflict.
I see.
Period.
Right.
Vietnam War, they said, ended in 1969, 1970, and some people put it at 74. And I will tell you that the Vietnam War was continuing well into the 1980s. Now, we had downplayed it. We had declared the war was over.
Right.
But I will tell you this, that unbeknownst to the general public out there, men were still dying. I know that after 1974, they were still pulling them in from Cambodia and Laos.
Wow.
Because they were making their way out of the country, those that wanted to depart.
Yeah.
And we were still taking them and pulling them out.
Wow. Yeah.
And these were embedded. Now, a lot of the missing in action people, or those that were labeled dead and they never found any remains, a lot of those guys actually lived and died there.
Wow.
As family members. They got wives and developed families and continued their sending reconnaissance information and all that kind of stuff out of Laos and Cambodia because they were embedded with the country at that point.
Wow. Well, we're talking with Michael Presley, and this guy's got a lot of great things in his background, and we're going to have lots more to talk about with Michael right after these messages.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. With more than 41 years of service to our valued customers, Advanced Treads in Norman, New Jersey is South Jersey's full-service distributor of General Tires. We feature a complete line of passenger vehicle tires, light truck, farm, and commercial tires. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tires, anywhere is possible. Advanced Treads, 1325 West Landis Avenue in Norman, New Jersey. Call them today at 856-696-5004. When you need tires, there is only one name you can trust. Advanced Treads of Norman, New Jersey.
Looking for a hidden gem on the other Jersey Shore? Discover the Hotel Charlesworth in Fortescue, New Jersey, where charm meets elegance. Enjoy fine dining, breathtaking views of the bay, and the warm welcome of your host, Sybil. And ladies, every guest gets to pick a free piece of jewelry, most often a beautiful ring. Because perfection deserves privacy. Reservations only. Call 856-447-4928. The Hotel Charlesworth, Fortescue's best-kept secret, on the other Jersey Shore in Fortescue, New Jersey.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Michael Presley, who is the son of Elvis Presley. And your mom's name again, Mike?
Mary.
Mary.
Yep.
Is his mother. And I was watching one of the shows you were doing from Las Vegas, and I know you put up the birth certificate. And, there's still people that question, obviously.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that, is he really? But let me tell you something. If you hear the guy sing, you'll know he's got Michael's genes as well. Speaking of singing, aren't you on iHeartRadio or something?
Yes. iHeartRadio actually signed a big contract with us, and they are now going to be handling the promotions, radio promotions.
Oh, super.
All across the country and around the world.
Uh-huh.
And Gannett Industries is also handling all the newspapers.
Right.
So
Yes,
they're handling all that.
They own
yeah.
the paper locally.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, people say, oh, he only had one child, and I have to look at him and say, you really want to believe that? And they said, well, it's the truth. And I say, well, give this a little bit of thought. You have the greatest panty dropper in the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, with all of these girlfriends, all of these starlets and beauty queens and singers and all of that, and you're going to tell me he only in all those years had one child. And I just don't buy it. In fact, I've actually located about 5 of my
No
siblings.
kidding.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And we're actually getting a big get-together. We're going to be filming the actual get-together.
Oh, that's neat.
And it's pretty exciting because some of them sing and some of them don't. You know, I've got a couple of sisters, I've got a few brothers, and we're getting them all certified because we're checking, to make
right,
sure.
Sure.
And we're thinking that there could be as many as 25 of us. And
Well, as you say, your dad was a stud. All the women wanted him. You know,
well,
let's face
yeah,
it.
and I mean, he was the greatest looking man in the whole world.
Yeah, well, you're not bad looking yourself. You got
Well,
some
I
good
appreciate
genes
that,
there.
but that's why I always tell people. They say, "Well, why did you name your book In Your Father's Footsteps?" And I said, because a child can fit into its father's footsteps, but it doesn't necessarily fill it.
Yeah.
So I'm in my father's footsteps.
Here we are.
But
In My Father's Footsteps, the book.
yes, there it is, and that is the proposed cover for the book, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So In My Father's Footsteps by Michael Presley.
That's
and
Geez, I don't like you. You're too darn talented.
Oh,
you
my
sing,
goodness.
You act, you write books. I can't do anything.
What?
Michael, if I couldn't talk, I don't know what I'd do for a living.
It's funny. I always tell people, I say, well, with that and $4, you can get yourself a Starbucks coffee.
Well, I don't drink coffee, so I understand. So we got a lot of great things coming up, folks. For the ones, especially in South Jersey, September 27th. Tell
Yes.
everybody what you're going to be doing.
WTHS Playhouse Theater. We will be in concert on the 27th there in Sewell, New Jersey. Yeah, there's the poster. And you can get your tickets through Eventbrite. They're moderately priced. I don't know what the promoter. I think the promoters got them set at $35 for most of the seats and $100 for the upfront seats. But with the upfront seats, what you get, of course, is you get a meet and greet in the afternoon. We can take selfies. You also get a chance to see the behind the scenes and stage, backstage passes
Right.
and everything like that. Your backstage passes are going to be lasered
Oh, wow.
on a piece of metal.
Oh, okay.
And it will be in a lanyard, and you'll be able to keep that as a keepsake,
that's
as
neat.
opposed to just
That's
showing
cool.
somebody a code, to get in. And you also get, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in there too that's going to be, that you'll be able to get too. That's in a grab bag for
that's
everybody in the front 2 rows. So
I'll tell you, folks, the venue, Washington Township High School
Playhouse Theater.
Playhouse Theater. I was there with a group of sitting and watching a really great, well-known church group that sang there, and what a beautiful place, just fantastic, and it should be great. Do you know how many seats, Mike?
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of
Several,
seats in there. Yeah,
several hundred, that's for sure.
You know, you can
Yeah.
definitely get in there and get your seats.
Yeah.
This is the first time for us on this tour, the Reflections Tour. And the reason we call it the Reflections Tour is because this gives me an opportunity to actually get to know people. In 2019, we were booked at the Orleans Hotel Casino right before COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
And we were supposed to kick off the tour in 2020. And we were scheduled to have a residency at the Orleans in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's a 10,000 seat facility.
Wow.
And one of the things I didn't like about the fact that we were starting to do those things is you never get a chance to meet anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
you come in, they whisk you on stage, you do your show, and then they whisk you off stage.
Yeah.
And there's no time to meet anybody. There's no time to step down the audience. You know, you can't see past the first row or so in
Yeah.
front of the stage. And I've always been a real people person.
Yeah, I can see that. You've got a
And
great personality and you enjoy
I want to
being around
meet you
people.
guys. Come on down and meet with me,
Yeah.
and if you can get in the afternoon, that'd be great for the meet and greet. We'll share. We're getting a big flat of cake for everybody that gets the
Oh,
$100
that's
seats.
nice.
We're gonna have a piece of
That's
cake
great.
together.
Yep.
You'll be able to hear part of the rehearsal, and you'll get the sound check, and then of course you'll get your grab bag. But even if it's a $35 seat, that's all right.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to try to get down into the audience and sing up close to
Oh,
everybody
that's nice.
in the room, because I know that as we move forward with these shows, the venues are going to continue to get larger
Yeah,
and
right.
larger,
Yes.
and there will be no opportunity after it gets too large for us to be able to get down into the audience and actually see people.
I think Renee was saying 800. Is that right, Renee? The auditorium? Yes. So it's 800 people, which is a nice sized crowd for sure. And as I say, it's a beautiful place, very, very well done. One of my friends, Joe Bollendorf, was superintendent of schools there. He just retired recently, and they put a lot into their beautiful auditorium and, what's it called?
WTHS Playhouse.
Playhouse, right. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, when we went down there, they had just installed and got up running. It was not dialed in to the room yet. They have to position the speakers a particular way, and they check the sound levels in all parts of the room.
Right.
And but they had a brand new concert performance style sound system that just went in, and it was. I was amazed for a little theater like that.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a beautiful sounding sound system. And we were actually a little concerned because theaters like that, a lot of times, they'll have a sound system that is okay for a play production,
Sure.
on
Yeah,
stage.
good point. Yes.
And we are bringing in concert sound
Yeah.
and concert presentation. Also, during the show, you're going to be able to see the documents, and you're going to be able to see,
Oh, that's
you know,
super.
all of the stuff, pictures of me and my mother and father together.
Oh, that's neat.
You're
Wow.
going to be able to see the birth certificate and the DNA report and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, you're going to be able to get all the questions that you want answered too.
So you do that?
Oh,
Take
yes, yes.
questions
Towards
from
the end of the
audience.
night, we're going to
Right.
go ahead and have
Yeah.
a question and answer period, because I really want the fans to know. You know, it's been
Yeah.
a long time since my father passed forward, and
How old was he, Mike?
he was 42.
Oh my God, he's a young kid.
Yes.
Phew.
And don't believe all the drug reports. He didn't die of a drug overdose. Everybody that has reported that now is starting to dial back because they know the book's coming out.
I see.
And those powers to be have offered me a lot of money not to release the book.
Oh,
Because in so releasing the book, they know that all the names are going to be released. In my book, I'm not like some people who have written books about my father where they'll go in there and they'll talk about my father Elvis, and they name his name, but then they'll talk about something that's controversial, and they'll say, well, I was told by somebody who's going to remain anonymous because I can't reveal my sources, who told somebody, and there's no names left, you see? And with me, I'll tell you, if it was Kirk Kerkorian of the International Hotel, the Hilton Hotel there in Las Vegas, Nevada, where my father performed, I'll tell you that. If it was Priscilla Presley, I will tell you that. If it was Billy Smith, I'm going to tell you that. Stanley Brothers, which were my father's stepbrothers.
Okay.
The Memphis Mafia, they're all listed in my book, and I tell all the stories because I know where all the skeletons
Right, yeah, wow.
are hidden. So do not believe the drug reports. He did not die of a drug overdose. Do not believe that he died on the toilet with his pants around his legs. And don't believe that he died right at August 16, 1977, because I have the evidence that shows He died approximately 2 months later.
Oh, okay.
Now, he never regained consciousness, so the heart attack took him out.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask.
Yes,
What's a heart
yeah,
attack?
he never regained consciousness, but he had been sitting in a wingback chair in the dressing area just off the bathroom.
Okay.
So he went to rise up out of the wingback chair, had a massive heart attack, fell forward into the Shanghai carpeting. Remember that carpeting?
I do.
It was
I had
a
that in my
foot
apartment
deep.
back when in the
Exactly,
70s, yeah.
you know, and it was a foot
Yeah.
deep, and he fell face forward into the Shanghai
That's a
carpeting.
shame.
They were able to resuscitate him, but he never regained consciousness. And approximately 2 months later, my grandfather pulled the plug. And probably if it would have been happened today, they probably could have kept him in an induced coma
Right, yeah.
until they could work him out of it
Yeah.
and would gotten him out.
I didn't realize he was that young, Mike. Wow.
Yeah, 42.
Jeez.
42. And he was getting ready to do a comeback. And that's what really was sad.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, he's still young enough to do a comeback.
Exactly. He was getting ready to do a comeback in 1978. And he was coming back with new outfits, already seeing the outfits that he was supposed to be using on that time period, because I went and saw the people that did his outfits are the same ones that do my outfits. And I saw the music. And the people that did the music, some of the music for him back then, are now working with me,
that's
because
nice.
we're going into the studio and we're recording right now the material that he was scheduled to do in 1978
Oh,
in the
that is
studios.
wonderful.
And Benny Clark, who was the piano player for Otis Blackwell, who wrote the music, is out there working for us right now,
Oh,
and he's
that's
going to be
nice.
producing the record. And Benny, here's a high up, buddy.
Thank you, Benny. That's super. Well, we're talking with Michael Presley, who is Elvis's son, and Mary's your mom.
What was that?
Your mom was. I keep forgetting your mom's first name.
Oh, Mary.
Mary. That's
yes.
what I thought. Mary, who was a super. Mary had to be beautiful too.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Well, that's why you got these good looks, buddy. You didn't get
Incredible.
them.
Well, my mom was beautiful. My father was beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
you
a
know,
handsome guy.
and it seemed like every 10 years he'd reinvent himself. A lot of people don't know that, but he did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think personally, the older he got, the more I liked him. I just thought he was
Absolutely.
really
Oh,
getting
yeah.
better and better. I loved his songs. In fact, it's funny, I broke into as a DJ in 1968 at WWBZ in Vineland and played your dad's songs. And somebody was asking me recently, what music do you like? And I said, well, I like the Four Seasons, the Beach Boys, Elvis, the Carpenters, those type things. And I think that goes along with whatever age you are. And that's when I broke into radio. That's what we played. And I was 21 at that time. And, so that's why I think we like the songs we like, depending upon. So what are your favorite songs besides your dad's?
Every single song my father did, and I like the Four Tops and the Coasters and the Drifters, the
Yeah.
Supremes.
Yeah.
I like all that time period. The Bee Gees.
Oh, I like them too.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
very
father
much,
told me that when the Bee Gees hit in the mid-1970s,
Right, yep.
he told me, he says, I saw the writing on the wall and knew the change had to come.
Okay.
Because otherwise, if I'm going to remain relevant in the music industry, I've got to change with the times.
Right.
And so therefore, he was wanting to do the 78 comeback.
Yeah.
And he actually released a song called Got a Feeling in My Body in 1974. And that song was about as close to disco as you could
Oh, no
ever
kidding.
get.
Oh, that's
My
cool.
father singing, and I mean, complete with the wah-wahs and the guitars and the rhythm and all the synthesizers and everything else. I had to laugh because my dad was trying all this stuff out in 1974, and he was really doing it good.
That's, like you say, reinvented himself. as
Yes,
he had
and
to
in
do.
fact, if you go online, you'll find in the YouTube that August 19th, 1974, that week he started his summer festival in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Uh-huh.
August 19th, 1974. I had just appeared on the Strip at a hotel down the street
Oh, no
from
kidding.
where he was at.
Uh-huh.
The El Dorado. In fact, some people
I do
might
remember
remember
that.
the old
I
El Dorado
do,
there
yeah.
on the Strip.
Yep.
And he appeared and opened up the following week. My show closed on the the 17th. It was Saturday the 17th. The 18th was a Sunday, and my 19th was a Monday. My father came to see me at the end of that show and transferred all my belongings over, and I spent the week with him that week.
Oh, that's nice. That's wonderful.
But that opening night is the one show that stands out in the entire history of the Elvis Presley music as being the only show of its kind. And everybody on the internet has wondered why that show was so different. And I've got the answers for that. He was trying out a lot of new stuff. I was there, and that was important too. And he had always started his show with 2001 Space Odyssey.
Okay.
And CC Rider.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
I love CC Rider.
Yeah, every show.
Yeah.
This show he didn't. He started out with a drum beat and Big Boss Man.
Huh.
And then he came out and he did songs like It's Midnight, My Boy, and all of these important heart-stretching ballads that required a tremendous amount of vocal power in order to
he
bring
had
over.
that,
And
that's
he
for
had
sure,
it.
yeah.
And the audience has actually received him with a little bit of a lukewarm. I mean, they pleasantly clapped, and he got one or two standing ovations before the night was over. But it was something. And then the very next night, he went back to CC Rider in 2001 Space Odyssey. And I asked him, I said, Dad, it sounded like people didn't really like what you were doing. And he says, they will. He says, they're just not ready for it.
Yeah, well, they hadn't gotten used to it yet.
They
right?
hadn't gotten used to it.
That's amazing. We're talking with Michael Presley, son of Elvis Presley, who has got lots of dad's talent. And we'll be back to talk more with Michael about things that are coming up in this area right after these messages.
The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born right here in America. With more than 41 years of service to our valued customers, Advanced Treads in Norman, New Jersey is South Jersey's full-service distributor of General Tires. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tires, anywhere is possible. Advanced Treads, 1325 West Landis Avenue in Norman, New Jersey. Call them today at 856-696-5004.
Okay. And
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. I was going to say the Michael Presley Show, and it's great to have Michael with us. And it's interesting, folks. I met Michael. What's it been, about a month ago,
about a month.
Something like that. And I walked in, and he and Renee were already here. And I went, oh, yeah, an Elvis impersonator. And then it's like, no, he's more than an Elvis impersonator. But, the other thing we haven't talked about is how talented you are as a singer. I mean, of course,
my goodness.
You got those genes from that, I'm sure.
I did, and people say, "Well, can you sound like your father?" Yes, of course I can. I mean that goes basically without saying. But more importantly, we do a lot of material. I've done a lot of material in my lifetime. My father did a lot of material in his lifetime. He was, of course, the greatest cover artist. I mean, he covered everybody: the Beatles, the Bee Gees, everybody in the 1970s.
Wow.
And I have done the same thing. I wrote a couple songs way back that had very minimal success, but the majority of the time I spent, really performing. And then we retired, and some people came to me and they said, we want you to come back out. We want you to write the book. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. And I said, well, why are you wanting to do all of this? And they said, well, the average age for people walking through the gates of Graceland is 30 or less.
Really?
Yes.
Wow,
and I said, you're kidding me. And I have a son that's 19, and I'm thinking about him. And he's, I asked him, I says, well, son, you know about your grandfather? And he says, well, yeah, I do. He says, I've read all the other stuff on the internet, but he says, I come to you and get all the real stories.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's good. I'm glad. And I thought to myself, how many people like my son are walking through the gates of Graceland, and all they know is the stuff that's put out there.
Right.
Based on the Memphis Mafia or Priscilla Presley or whoever it is that's going to put it out there. And my stepmother has had a lot of questionable books out there, and she's now dialing back on those books. And as you can see, I'm not afraid to talk about these people.
No.
You get a certain point in your age, and it's like, I'm going to say it the way I want to say it, and I don't care. And I kind of figure like we've reached a point in our lifetime where we don't have to hide behind politics.
No.
I mean, it's got to be 2026 now. We need to be transparent as a culture and with one another.
Yeah.
So, they're changing their stories, and they said, we've got to get you to come out and tell the truth. And I said, okay, I'll do that. What do you want me to do? They said, start writing the book.
I see.
Well, I had never, other than a high school essay and a couple of small, paragraphs for college, because I got a nuclear engineering degree, and believe it or not, they don't just have you working on nuclear engineering. You do have to do a little bit of an assignment that shows you can at least spell well and use some grammar there. And so you can go ahead and, fill out reports and things along those lines. But I had never written anything at that point, really, of any substance or value. And so what they did was they said, you've got to write. And I sat down to start writing, and I sat there, and it must have been a good month and a half, and not a word. Nothing.
I totally understand.
And
I wrote a column for a newspaper, and it would take me forever to get it. I'm not a writer. I'm a talker, but I can't write.
Exactly,
No.
And so then I tried writing it down, because somebody said, well, just jot down things that you think about. I said, okay. So I got a notebook, and I started writing it down, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, if anybody read this right now, they wouldn't know which way I'm going, okay? So then I got a hold of a writer that was actually somebody that was been pretty big, kind of quiet, but he's been pretty big. He's coming out with a book about the person who killed Martin Luther King, or was supposedly killed Martin Luther King. He actually has evidence that he was not the assassin. But at any rate, he was the last person to interview him.
Wow.
And so I thought to myself, well, this guy is an accomplished writer. He's had a lot of writing. He's done some ghostwriting. He's done this. He's done that. It was recommended to me by my manager, who is Silk Cozart. And for those folks out there who don't know who Silk Cozart, just think White Men Can't Jump. Okay, the movie.
Okay.
And Eraser, In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood, and about 30 other films.
Wow.
And but at any rate, he told me, he says, I need you to get in touch with this guy. He'll help you, do it. And I said, well, I don't want a ghostwriter. I want it to be, under my own pen, because I want people to know it was me. I take responsibility for what was said in the book. And he says, that's okay. He says, he'll help you.
Yeah.
So I went to him, and he told me, he says, write when you can, and when you can, write. I said, okay, I could do that. And he says, why don't you just start where it all began? And so I did that, and I suddenly found it very easy to write at that point, because when I got done writing about a particular year,
Right.
that closed out the chapter.
Yes.
And the next chapter was the next year.
Right.
So in all these chapters, you can follow all of my life and my father's life and the interactions of my mother's life and everything that's happening to me, and all down through my life, and even past my father passing forward. and my mother passing forward, and I keep writing. And by the time I got done writing, they asked me, they says, well, how's the book going? And this has been 5 years now.
I'm sure, yeah.
I thought this was a long time until I talked to Stephen King, and Stephen King says, no, some of my books took 10 years to write.
Wow.
And I'm going, oh, well, then it's not so bad.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
And
Wow.
5,000 pages later, I suddenly said, well, I don't
Wow.
think there's anything else I can say. I mean, I could continue to talk, but I said, you know what, I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to cut it off. And so now they're in the process of cutting that all down, and from what I understand, they have done that, and that's accomplished. That's why we now have the cover of the book, In My Father's Footsteps by Michael Presley, and that's going to be released supposedly here later this year.
Oh,
You'll
that's nice.
find out where you can
Right.
get that.
That's great.
We've got an album that's out now called the Reflections album, which kind of goes along with the Reflection tour. Has me and my father in duets.
Wow, that's
And
neat.
although I was not in the recording industry when my father was like, yeah, there it is, in the recording industry. And actually, if you look at that picture, that is actually a reflection in one of the Elvis belt buckles.
Okay.
And that's my reflection in the Elvis belt buckle.
Oh, I'll be darned. Wow.
And so we called it the Reflection album. And in there, it's got me and my father. We went back in and opened up the tracks of a lot of the songs he was doing in the 70s. And then I just went into the studio and cut them right along with him. And it's really hard to separate the two voices. You can hear two voices singing there, but it almost sounds like he's doubling up on his own voice.
Wow, that's neat. Well, that's a tribute to you to sound like your dad. Yeah, that's
So
fantastic.
we did that, and it's going to be good. And I know that there's how do we ever get to be a country of haters?
Well, lately it's gotten even worse. Yes, I know what you mean. It's like, gosh.
I never could believe that.
No,
My father was so good about all of his fans, and I mean, he spent literally millions of dollars in philanthropic work. We're actually doing this show for Lewy Body Research, and Lewy Body Research, dementia research, and
good.
Parkinson's disease.
Wow.
And so we're wanting to raise money for that. In fact, we're going to continue those kind of shows for as long as that management and the promoter wants us to do them. But we're going to continue doing the shows all across the country and around the world to help raise funds, because it is very important research, but it's research that a lot of people don't get a lot of information out of, except for maybe the Michael J. Fox
that's
Foundation,
right.
because
Yes,
he's a
good
big
point.
proponent
Yeah,
for
right.
that. But until Michael J. Fox came along, nobody really knew too much about all of that.
Parkinson's, yeah,
And
that's
how
true.
important the research is. So we're doing it for them. But we got the book coming out. We've got the album now. And, of course, we're doing the shows. And we're on the a lot of YouTube channels.
Yes.
We've been on a lot of
Yeah.
YouTube channels. Some of the people picked them up and they've cut them and they've edited them, re-edited them, for their own purposes. And I actually saw some pictures, they were not very flattering, where they put other people's heads on top of mine, other bodies on top of me, and they just photoshopped the whole thing. So if you're watching today, you can see I'm a real person. My name is really Michael Presley. And for those of you out there that are talking on YouTube that use the name M69358, to put in your comment, just use your real name. I use my real name.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to tell you who I am.
Gutless.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on, guys.
That's it. And if you want to know more about me, just come and see me. I'll be more than glad to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're not going to find a nicer, friendlier person than
Oh,
Michael.
thank you.
And, like I said, the first time I met him, I felt like I've known him for a long, long time, because he's honest and personable and has a really good reputation and has a great voice, too. So, of course, you inherited that, and that's a great gift. We're talking with Michael Presley. We'll be back to wrap up the program right after these messages.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being, and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Looking for a hidden gem on the other Jersey Shore? Discover the Hotel Charlesworth in Fortescue, New Jersey, where charm meets elegance. Enjoy fine dining, breathtaking views of the bay, and the warm welcome of your host, Sybil. And ladies, every guest gets to pick a free piece of jewelry, most often a beautiful ring. Because perfection deserves privacy. Reservations only. Call 856-447-4928. The Hotel Charlesworth, Fortescue's best kept secret, on the other Jersey Shore in Fortescue, New Jersey.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey, and I've got a guy from East Tennessee. We didn't talk about that.
That's
where
right.
you live, right?
That is correct. East Tennessee, suburb of Knoxville.
Okay, that's nice. And how far is it from there to, like, New Jersey?
Oh, it's a good 7-8 hours
Okay.
at least.
That's not too
You
bad.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's nice. So,
day's drive.
yeah, which is decent to be able to do. What got you to locate in Tennessee?
Actually, there was a lady there that I had known many years ago, and she had gotten back in touch with me, and we had a relationship back then. Okay, and she was actually Miss Louisiana.
Wow.
And I know, like my dad, I dated the the beauty queens and the girls and stuff, and I've been married, multiple times in my lifetime. So
Me too.
you too, okay. So, but I'll tell you, I love them all.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, two of them passed away.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
But they're up in heaven.
even if they dirtied on you or anything like that,
Yeah.
I don't hold that against them.
Yeah,
I mean, I still love them.
that's life. It's just how things
So
are.
she had gotten back in touch with me, and she lived in East Tennessee.
Oh, so-
And we got back together, and it was, it was like never, at that time it was like nothing had ever
that's
changed.
nice.
It was like we just hadn't seen each other in a couple of weeks.
Wow. That's great.
So she said, well, I'm not moving down south, and you'll have to come up to Tennessee. So I moved up to Tennessee, and that's how I got into East Tennessee.
That's nice.
And it's a nice community out
Yeah,
there.
I've been to
Nice
Knoxville.
people.
Yeah.
East
Yeah,
Tennessee's
they're
good.
very nice people. They really
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yes, I've been.
And I mean, you can't beat it. That's why I always tell people. I said, my home sits on the east side of Tennessee. My father's home sits on the west side of Tennessee. We kind of anchor Tennessee down.
A lot of nice people down there. There really are. There's no question about it. But so now we have the Washington Township Performance Center. You're going to be on the 27th of this month.
That's correct.
And then where will you go? I know you're doing these to raise money for the charities you talked about. Do you have anything planned for the next few months?
Actually, we've got a couple of shows that are going to be coming up, and iHeartRadio,
right.
Bandstand Radio.
I did see that up on there. I hadn't heard of that.
Yes,
That's good.
are going to be promoting those shows. So, and we'll be letting everybody know on Bandstand Radio, and we'll probably come back to give you an update too, like we're doing in YouTube in Las Vegas with Ninon, and so we're going to be doing multiple shows, and the shows will continue into next year, and then the year after that, the year after that,
Super.
and hopefully I can be like. Who's that singer that just passed away not too long ago? He was in his 90s. Tony Curtis. Was it Tony Curtis?
I knew there was a Tony Curtis.
Oh, Tony Bennett, not
Tony
Tony
Bennett,
Curtis.
right.
Tony Curtis died many more
Yeah,
years
right.
before that.
Yeah.
Tony Bennett.
Yes. I
And
remember.
he used to pal around with Lady Gaga.
Oh.
So, but now that's
interesting.
eye candy
Yeah,
for
it
you,
sure
you know.
is. Yeah.
Carry around on your arm.
Yeah.
But he was clear into his 90s for him, and like I said, I hope I'm clear into my
126,
120s.
yeah. Yeah.
And keep performing. I will probably never ever retire at this point.
That's what I was going to say, Michael. I have that same situation. I have no hobbies. I love what I do. And, of course, it's wonderful to have you here tonight. It was a great, great show. And I often say, and I joke about it, but I said, going to drop dead right here on the set. Christie Funeral Home's going to come pick my body up, take it over to the funeral home, and that'll be the end of it.
That's it.
Because I get bored so easy, and I love people, as you do too. And I mean, it's like Gene and Mary Ann, what sweethearts they've been and coming. I love being the mayor of Millville because Gene and Mary Ann and all the artist people came, and we really had the place rocking and rolling. And they were just third Fridays. We'd have fun. We didn't have to worry about shootings. We had a good time. And
that's back when people had fun.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to get back to that point.
Well, that's the truth. And also, you got to love your fellow man. Whether you're Christian, Jewish, whatever you may be. I think that's what God wants us to do, is love our fellow man. And unfortunately, there's been this divide and hatred sometimes, and things you see out there. And people basically are good people. They really are. And I've just been thrilled. I've got so many friends, and I'm sure you do too, which makes you feel good. And being around them, it's just great. Just being around Jews like a high.
Oh,
and I don't do drugs, so there we go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian, you're Catholic, Christian, Muslim, or who you are. God is real.
Yeah.
He's out there, and He wants us to treat each other with a good attitude.
Yeah.
And I'll be telling the people about that night.
That's super.
Because if there's something that I would like everybody to be able to leave with that night, it's that.
Yeah.
Let's help
Great
each
message.
other.
Yeah.
Open up the door for the ladies. Let's get back to doing the good things, and
Yeah.
helping your neighbor. And when you see them out there struggling with something, say, come on over and lend them a hand. It only takes a couple of seconds,
that's true.
and you're there and you can see it happen. You can see they're struggling, give them a helping hand.
Yeah.
So, and I really think that's important. Be important for our country.
It really is. Give them a hand up. That's what we need to do to help each other. And,
Exactly.
It's again, I love being with people. I really do. It's just that's my high. Like tonight, it's been a great high being with you, but I just enjoy that. But it's weird. I have no hobbies, so I said I don't know if I
Don't
could.
feel bad.
If I couldn't talk, I don't want to do. I mean, a lot of my friends play golf and all that stuff, but
No, I don't.
No,
I do not chase the little white
no,
ball.
me either. No.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to end up burying us with a microphone in our
Yeah,
hand.
that's true. Exactly. You singing and me talking. I got to tell you,
I'll be
folks,
right there. I'll be laying in the casket for viewing, and they're going to go, dang, he's still got the microphone in his hand.
Well, I got to give you credit. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. I said if I couldn't talk, I don't know what I would do. But that's why I admire you and your dad and all the people that have that musical ability and that talent. Michael, it's great to see you, and I hope you'll come back.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes.
In fact, we already talked about doing what was the theater across the street?
Levoy, yeah.
The Lavoy?
Lavoy, yeah.
Lavoy Theater.
Yeah.
So if those folks out there who know the Lavoy Theater, let them know,
Yeah.
And Jim and I are going to work together on that, make that
would be
happen.
fun. One of the highlights, I guess, of my career was I got to perform at the Lavoy Theater with Martin Short.
Well, you told me, didn't you open up the
Well, I was like the mayor, vice mayor when we opened. Yeah, we
Right.
started getting the thing going and stuff like that. In fact, it's interesting. Joe Pierce, whose son, Joe Jr., unfortunately tried to save one of his big brothers and he drowned. But Joe, Senior, I took him to the airport today because his son's out in Los Angeles. But they were the ones, and in fact, it was funny too, Mike. They came to me and they said, Jim, what do you think? Because the place was in terrible shape. I said, "What, are you guys crazy?" Well, they had the right attitude. They pushed forward, and then Phil and Lauren Van Emden stepped up and took it to the next level. And this made me feel good. Speaking of Levoy, the amazing Kreskin was there one night.
You were telling me
Yeah.
about that the last time I saw you.
And he said this is one of the nicest theaters, this size, that he's seen around. He's been around the world. And it is. It's very nice, and it's beautiful, and it draws lots and lots of people, and would be nice to have you there. I got to know Sinbad. He performed there too. So it was, like I say, it's something I enjoyed. Got to meet a lot of really, really nice people. So
Wow.
yeah, and Lauren and Phil Van Emden have been phenomenal. They've kept it going. They have a good board of directors and all that kind of stuff. But again, my friend, thanks for coming in.
You're very welcome,
God
and
bless you.
want all your viewers and listeners
Yeah,
to
please.
remember WTHS Playhouse Theater on September 27th. We'll be there in concert. Doors are going to open up at 5 o'clock. Show begins at about 7. You can get the tickets on Eventbrite, and we'll be there with special guest Benny Clark, who I told you was the keyboard player for Otis Blackwell, and also Lou Costello, who is the local with Cruisin'.
Yeah, Cruisin'. Yeah,
Cruisin' Radio will be there to MC the evening. And we believe that my personal manager and producer-director will be there to direct the filming.
Okay.
That event will be filmed that night.
That's great.
And we're excited about that, too. So definitely come on down, and maybe we could talk to them while we're there about the fact we're coming back to do the Lavoie.
Yeah, that would be nice. It really would. Thanks again, Michael, for
Thank
coming
you
in.
very much.
God bless you, man. Keep up the good work. And thanks to all of you for watching this evening on Around South Jersey, and to George Cuccia for producing the show. I'm Jim Quinn for Michael Presley. We thank you for being with us. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.